Hi, in today's episode, we're going to answer three simple questions for you. Are demons real? If so,
Yes.
where do they come from?
No idea. Hell, probably.
And what is a demon?
Um, Little red dude with horns and a tail and wings, maybe.
Well, we're going to find out in this episode of The Dartarian Show. I'm Alexander Dartarian.
And I am, as always, Dominic Sykes.
And to answer those three questions, we have to go back quite a bit.
Yeah, most things, that we end up talking about usually have origins that go way, way back,
Well, ever since
which is
the written word has been around, one word has consistently popped up throughout every culture, and that's translated to demon.
yes.
So with that many cultures, different cultures,
We've talked
talking
about
the
before,
same
too.
thing. Yeah.
It's always to me more believable when something is in more than one culture. You know what I mean? One more than one type of people. So, like, if it's spread worldwide, there has to be a reason for it. So that in itself gives you kind of it gives it a little bit more credibility than say something that just one group of people talk about around a campfire or something.
Yeah, absolutely. So the very first mention of the word demon, if you believe in the Bible, it's in the Bible 6,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So where the Judaism and Christianity definition comes from is the Bible, which demons are considered fallen angels. When Lucifer rebelled and fell to heaven, he took 1/3 of God's angels.
According to Christianity, yeah.
According to Christianity and Judaism. They became the demons. Now, that's just the Christianity and the Judaism,
I
which is the most people know as demons.
yeah.
But they've been around far longer because the Bible started popping around like a little bit after the Egyptians. So the Egyptians' belief in demons were kind of like their deities and demons. They're more like guardians of the underworld. Mm-hmm. So they're basically wanderers or guardians. The guardians.
Same thing with the Greeks,
yeah.
wasn't it?
I don't know. We'll get to that.
Okay.
Because the Egyptians are first.
Yeah.
The Egyptians, they defined them as their function to be benevolent towards those who have knowledge or a secret to face them. Basically, they guarded the halls of Osiris,
Right.
and the wanderers were associated with possession, mental illness, death, and plagues.
So pretty much everything got blamed on demons.
Yeah, so, you had two aspects of demons in ancient Egypt. You had the one that guarded and helped, and that was benevolent.
Yeah.
And then you had the malevolent ones.
Yeah.
So it was like two sides of a coin.
Right.
Now, when we get to the Egyptian or the Greek, they also have something that's similar.
Yeah.
The word demon actually comes from Greek.
The word itself.
The word itself, demon. It means to distribute or to divide.
So how does that translation kind of fit what our views of demons today are? Do you think?
Well, it's to divide. It's basically to take a good person and divide them from God. If you're looking at it in the Christianity and Judaism, like they would tempt you to do bad stuff.
Right.
That's how it to divide.
And then what was the other one again? Sorry.
Distribute.
Distribute.
Yeah.
So how would that part translate? You think? Well, I guess you don't have to. It doesn't have to be exact.
No, it doesn't have to be exact. It's a philosophical term
Yeah.
that was coined by Plato.
Gotcha.
So Plato is pretty much the one that came up with the word demon.
Okay. Plato himself?
Yeah, Plato.
Oh wow, I didn't know
Socrates, yeah.
Huh.
So, with that, are demons real?
Are you asking for my opinion, or are you just
That
leading
it's just
into
one
a
of the
segue
questions.
here?
Yeah. One of the questions is, are demons real? Now, we get to the most common, the Judaism and Christianity. They pretty much are supernatural entities that they're inhuman. They're not born of human.
Right.
And there's a lot of demons out there. There's like thousands and thousands and thousands. But it's not only the Judaism. There's Native American demons.
Yeah. Well, aren't those like
There's only
from the spirits from I think like First World or something like that. I don't want to butcher the.
Well, in my research, the only demon that's consistently came up through every indigenous person's definition of a demon, as we would see a demon, is a Wendigo.
Wendigo.
Yeah, Wendigo. It's pronounced both ways.
Yeah, no, yeah, both ways. I've heard it both ways.
Yeah, I've heard it both ways. So, and like I said, there's so many demonics where it comes from. So, where did it come from? It came from an idea of something that's evil and a way to describe it.
Yeah.
So that is the origin of demons, is something we don't understand, bad happens to us. We blame it on an unseen entity that takes the blame.
Right.
So that answers one question. Where do they come from? It comes from a deep-rooted trying to explain evil.
Yeah.
And
why we do some of the horrible, horrible shit humanity does. Well, it's demons' fault.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I guess would make sense in a way. It's a good logical way of looking at it. Why, where they come from or whatever.
And the word demon did not show up into the Bible until it was translated from Hebrew to Greek.
Oh, wow. And then because of the Greeks,
Yeah.
it changed to demon. Now, I don't know if did it used to be spelled Aemon?
No.
Like, was the A before?
It
You know what I'm talking about, right? Like,
Yeah. It's a daemon.
Yeah.
But it's actually the original spelling of demon from the Greek mythology is D A-I-M-O-N.
So kind of like Daimon?
Daimon, or daemon. It's daemon, basically. So are demons real? Now, we have multiple classifications of demons. There's so many demons. Basically, there's ones where with Wicca and everything, where they just demons would come to witches, and that's what would give them their power. They would make deals with demons or the devil. And I think Judaism,
And
Satan is considered all demons. There is no demons. It's just Satan.
Right.
And then Christianity expands on that Lucifer or Satan is the king or the prince of all demons.
Right.
And then the 7 deadly sins are considered demons.
I always thought of the 7 deadly sins as a figurative thing instead of an actual, like I've always thought of the 7 deadly sins as acts more so than an actual living being.
I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
but
'cause all of the sins are things that humans do. They are prideful, they're greedy,
But back
they're
then,
sloth.
Yes, but back then, bad things that you did were demonic.
Right.
Demons made you do it.
Yeah.
You had no control of your actions. It was the demons.
Yeah, that's at least.
And then
that's the
there's
excuse.
still a lot of religions that still uses that aspect of it. But did you know that the 7 deadly sins had specific demons attached to them?
No, yeah. See, that's why I had no idea.
So obviously, pride is going to be Lucifer, king of all the demons. He's very prideful.
Yeah,
he
pride was
rebelled.
always
That was the reason he rebelled. He was prideful.
right.
So that's why it's always the number one sin.
Yeah, pride is always which is, I think there are other sins that probably are a little bit worse than being prideful, but whatever.
Yeah. Beelzebub is envy.
yeah. Oh.
He's envious. Sathanas is wrath.
Yeah.
That just sounds like a very wrathful name.
Sathanoth.
Yeah.
That's a badass name. Sathanoth.
Abaddon is
Abaddon.
sloth.
Wait. Oh, I was gonna say. I'm gonna try and guess some of these.
Okay.
See what if I can associate them with their
Maimon.
Maimon. You said you already did sloth, right?
I've done pride, envy, wrath, sloth.
And okay, give me the name one more time.
Maimon.
Greed.
Yep. Bafagor.
I'm trying to think of the sins that are left. All right, go ahead. Just tell.
Gluttony.
Gluttony. God. Oh God.
And Asmodeus is lust.
Lust.
So the seven deadly sins is why the demons, they're specifically demons, and they control that sin. So when you have that sin, like you lust after your neighbor's wife,
that demon is directly responsible for that action.
Asmodeus whispering in your ear or controlling your mind to have those lustful thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's why it's important to talk about these demons, because like there was an aspect back then when they absolutely believed this 100%.
Yeah, there was no
and
question.
That like your audience out there might be like shaking their head.
Well, I was
like,
going to say no. I'm telling you,
I'm sure there are people. That still
there are
this.
still people out there that 100% believe this.
Like,
and we're not ragging on people for their beliefs or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, there's still people. It's not just back in the day. There's still people today that believe that.
There's two different studies, right?
Right.
Or ways of thinking when you say a demonic name. There's the one where it's like, oh, you shouldn't say the demon's name because you call them.
You call them to you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's also if you know
over the name.
Yeah,
you
have power over the name.
That's right. I remember that.
So, I mean, whether you believe it or not, and
I think I would lean more towards but the problem with that is the demons' true names tend to be like so convoluted and hard to pronounce for that reason. If you're going down that track, like the names give you power over them.
Well, it could be both too, because they make it hard to pronounce, so you don't call them.
Yeah. I can't see that. Those names are like common knowledge and still going on, because how we would be able to just control them then if that was the case, because we know the names. Maybe
we did gain control over them because we know the names.
Oh, so you think we've already?
Like, I think that
maybe that's why we no longer think that those are what causes.
Or maybe it took years and years and years of exorcising demons that possess people, gaining their name and power to where they can never raise from hell again. So
interesting thought.
Yeah. Alfonso di Spini, in 1467, prepared a classification of demons based on several criteria.
Yeah.
Demons of fate.
Okay.
Incubi and succubi.
Right.
Wandering groups or armies of demons can include multiple regions in hell. There's said to be 9 princes of hell, and each one of them has an army of demons.
Princes of hell. Now, that's obviously different than the sins.
Yeah.
These are more powerful, probably, right?
Well, no, because Asmodeus is a prince. All of the 7 deadly sins are princes, but there's 2 more.
Okay, so there are 7 princes that are the sins, and then 2 additional ones that are not sins, but are still princes of hell.
Yes.
Okay.
Familiars.
Okay, yeah, familiars.
Druids.
Druids or druids?
Druids.
So D-R-O-O-D-S?
Nope, D-R-U-D-S.
Okay. Druids.
Druids, or druids.
Okay.
Cambions, or other demons that are born from the union of a demon with a human being.
Nephilim. Oh, no, that's angel and demon, sorry.
That's angel and demon. A cambion is a demon and human. A liar and mischievous demons. Demons that attack the saints.
So who came up with this classification system again?
Alfonso di Spini in 1467.
Okay.
Demons that try to induce old women to attend witches' Sabbaths. So calling
have
to
a
the
s-
witchcraft.
that's kind of
It's
a
a specific
specific
demon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as we go on, there's going to be specific demons for. It's like almost like the Roman gods. They had a god for everything.
Yeah.
We have demons for everything.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah. So this classification is somewhat weird, and it's difficult to find a criterion for it. It seems that Spinney was inspired by several legends and stories. The Druids belong to the German folklore. Familiars, goblins, and other mischievous demons belong to the folklore of most European countries.
Yep.
The belief in incubi and succubi and their ability to procreate seem to have inspired the sixth category, but it could also have been inspired in the Talmudic legend of demons having sexual intercourse with mortal women and men.
Yeah.
So it's more like a lustful thing. Like, oh, it's.
I feel like
sex has been always a big thing.
I feel like a succubus and an incubus were ways to
It's
cope
desire.
with rape in the past.
Maybe.
Like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, a succubus comes in the middle of the night and
Or molestation.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's kind of where that originated from. Why, those.
Maybe, man. That's a tall order you're throwing out there.
Well, I mean,
I somewhat agree with you, but that's way. I think it's wet dreams, like
yeah.
lustful dreams. I think it's a way to explain it.
well, yeah, and back then, everything they had like sticks up their butts back then. I'm telling you, man, like everything was, you can't do this because
Well, you're thinking of the Renaissance and the Victorian age, not the Dark Ages. The Dark Ages and the Middle Ages.
yeah, those were
Ancient
everybody
Greece,
from themselves
Roman,
and,
they were just
brutal.
Yeah, they were like a bar wench. Those are from the Middle Ages.
Yeah.
Like Victorian, like you couldn't say trousers.
Yeah, yeah,
So, the idea of old women, including Sabbaths, was common during the European Middle Ages and Renaissance. And Spina mentioned it before, and Malus Maleficum, the hammer of the witches.
Yep, we talked about that in our witch episode.
Yep. The visions of tempting demons that are some early and not so early. Saints had perhaps inspired the eighth category, and also in the visions of Anthony the Great. So Anthony the Great was a saint who had visions. A lot of people thought he was paranoid schizophrenic because he had hallucinations. He saw things that weren't there. He had conversations with things.
I think
Demons
that
tormented
could
him.
explain a lot of the prophets too.
Yeah.
and stuff. They were either schizophrenic or just hallucinated because
Yeah,
of
that's crazy.
something or another. They ate all kinds of weird plants and stuff.
Well, back then when people were like prophets and they would hear and talk to things like talk to God and stuff. Back then it was like sometimes, I'm not going to say this all the time because there was a lot of people that were killed for this, but it was like, oh, he's a prophet. Nowadays they're on the street corner and you're just like, oh, you're crazy.
Yeah, they're holding up
one of
signs
those
saying the
people are
world
prophets.
is ending.
So basically, and there's also other classifications. Agrippa's classifications of demons in 1509 to 1510. Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa proposed several classifications for demons based on numeric systems.
Why does that name sound so familiar? Agrippa. That sounds so familiar.
He wrote De Occulta Philosophy. So the philosophy of the occult.
Maybe, but that name, it's like itching my brain. I've heard it somewhere. I just can't place it.
So he had everyone was a scale.
Right.
So, scale of unity, one prince of rebellion of angels and darkness, Lucifer. So he's the scale of unity, brings all the demons together under his rule,
Right.
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Scale of binary, two chiefs of the devils, Behemoth and Leviathan. Yeah. Scale of ternary, the three furies, Alecto, Megara, and Tesiphon. So, a lot of people would know Megara from
Like Hercules.
Hercules, and also one
She's
of the
a
demons
fury.
from Supernatural.
Well, Megara or Megara
Yeah,
was
Megara.
also one of the Furies. Hades.
And you're going to recognize some of these names from Greeks legends. 3 infernal judges: Minos, Akos, and Randamathus.
Random asses.
Yeah. Randamathus. Like, that's what it literally said. Randamathus. All right. 4 princes of the devils and the elements are called the scale of Quaternary: Samael, fire; Azazel, air; Azael, water; and Mazazel, earth.
So they have like,
Literally demons for everything.
yeah, that's weird. It's kind of like a second.
Like mythology.
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 princes of spirits upon the 4 angles of the world.
It's like an opposite.
Yeah.
Like you have like you were talking about before, like two sides of the same coin type deal. You have like God and angels and their tiers of,
Yeah,
stuff like
absolutely.
that. And then on the other
Seraphims.
side of the coin, you have Lucifer and then his generals, his princes, his
Like angelic stuff. It's seraphims.
So it makes it does
Nephilims.
kind of go with what you were saying with the two sides of the same
Yep.
coin thing.
Orions is east, Paimon is west, Irgen is north, and Amamon is south. Despite listed separately, Agrippa mentions that these groups are identical, making the first as the Hebrew equivalent
Where is he?
of the names of the latter.
Where is he coming up with all of this? Is what I would like to know.
don't
Like,
know.
why? How does he? How is he like the expert of makeup? I mean, like, did somebody just one of the demons just come and tell him all of this stuff, or
No, I think that he just he either made it up or he studied.
if you look at it in a
studied other
logical light?
cultures.
And again, we've talked about this before. I'm not exactly a skeptic. I will believe things, right? But at the same time, I like to look at things logically first, and I don't understand how he came up with all of this,
Yeah.
without having. I mean, did he take a trip through hell and just talk to them, or I
don't
don't
know.
get it.
But let's skip ahead.
Yeah,
and
sorry,
there's a
I'm
lot
taking us
of
a
there's a
time
lot of descriptions and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But let's get to the ones that people out there are more familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
King James. Everyone's heard of King James Bible.
Yes.
King James had classifications of demons as well. He wrote in a dissertation titled Demonology.
Yes. And that is a practice that is still used today.
Yep. He published it in 1597. He also authorized a version of the Bible. So basically, his classifications are 4.
Much simpler.
Yep. Spectra, used to describe spirits that trouble houses in solitary places.
The most common.
Yeah, so ghosts,
Yeah.
hauntings,
Pretty much.
poltergeist, those are spectras. Obsession, used to describe spirits that follow upon certain people to outwardly trouble
So
them
basically,
at various times of the
you
day.
can't get rid of them. You move out
So
of the
you're
house
haunted.
and they follow you
Yeah, you're haunted. It's attached its spirit to you.
directly to you.
Yeah. Possession, used to describe spirits that enter inwardly into a person to trouble them. So demons and everything.
Which you need an exorcism to get rid of.
And the last classification I found odd. Fairies.
Really?
Yeah,
Fairies are a demon
I guess.
classification?
Yep. Used to describe spirits that philosophize, consort, or transport.
Huh. I've never actually come across, that type of demon before.
Yeah.
In like TV shows or, you have Ghost Hunter or Ghost Adventures or whatever. They never really talk about fairies being one of the things that they're looking for. But everybody's heard of fairies in some aspect or another, Just
Yeah.
usually not in that,
Absolutely.
that kind of thing.
So, remember when we were talking about St. Anthony? Mm-hmm. He was known to fight off 9 demons.
Really?
Yes. And there's a painting by Michelangelo that depicts it being assailed by demons, which apparently he had heard 9 demons and he he went through and prayed and fought all of them to get them out of his head.
Did he use his nunchucks?
No, he used his prayer in mind. So, with demons being real, it's all us perspective. If you believe that they're real, then most of the time you're going to either create it in your head or they may be real.
Yeah.
There's no real definitive answer whether these guys are real.
Well, the human mind is a very, very interesting thing. You know, if you believe something hard enough, to you, it 100% could be real. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
even if the scientists found, without a shadow of a doubt, which they probably have at this point, that demons are not real, right? Mm-hmm. There could be people out there, you know, they were like, oh, I believe in demons, and they believe it so hard that they could, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
manifest it. I don't know.
All right, well, if you believe in the Bible and you're a Christian, demons are real.
Yeah.
Mark 9:17-18, and someone from the crowd answered him, Teacher, I brought my son to you, for he has a spirit that makes him mute. And whenever it seizes him, it throws him down, and he foams and grinds his teeth and becomes rigid. So I asked your disciples to cast it out, and they were not able.
He needed medical attention.
So that is literally from the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus cast, or he was going to cast out that. Basically, he just had epilepsy.
Yeah, he just had a seizure.
Yeah, he just had epilepsy. But of course, they're only mentioned 3 times in the Bible.
Demons?
Yeah.
That's weird, because when you think about that is weird. I've never read the Bible back to front all the way through in one go before. I mean, I've read it, you know, but I don't remember there being much mention of hell in general in the Bible until Revelations?
Yeah. No.
Or is it
well,
not
Jesus,
even in Revelation?
Jesus came across demons known as Legion, and he cast them into pigs and sent them into the ocean to die.
Yeah, we talked about that before too, and I just don't understand
Yeah.
why that would have been the go-to response there. I'm gonna turn you into a pig, and then you, as a pig, you're gonna have to go into the
several
ocean.
pigs. He basically took the demons out of the person they were possessing
and
put them in the pigs.
Poor pig.
Yeah, pigs
that we eat.
Yeah, it was several pigs.
Yeah,
72 to be exact.
72 pigs.
Yep.
And then cast them into the ocean.
Yep.
And then eaten by sharks and
drowned. Luke said, the 72 returned with joy, saying, Lord, even the demons subject to us in your name. So basically, it was basically a thing like, oh, if you say in the name of Jesus Christ, demons are supposed to be like, oh shit, he's the big dog. I gotta go. They also, but Revelations is the most famous. It's when the demons are supposed to rise up.
Yeah.
The devil has come down to you in great anger, knowing that he has little time. So basically, it doesn't really say, hey, demons are out there. They're going to possess you. They're going to make you do stuff in the Bible. It really doesn't say that. Mm-hmm. It mentions demons and devils. I think that demons
but it does not specifically say in the Bible that, hey, you're doing bad stuff.
That's a demon's fault.
Yeah.
No. Absolutely not.
Right.
Sin is too human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the
makes
whole
you human.
point of the Bible, if you think about it, because, well, at least the New Testament, Jesus died for everybody's sins, you know.
All right. So, and like I said before, demons are in every culture, from Japanese to Chinese, the Asian cultures, India, everywhere. Every culture on Earth has demons.
In some form or another,
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I 100% agree.
So let's answer those questions, right? Mm-hmm. Where do demons come from?
We talked about that.
They come from, if you believe in the Christianity thing, they come from the heaven. The third of the angels came down. If you believe in everybody else, then it's
usually guardians of the underworld or
Inhumans.
Yeah.
Basically stuff that brings bad
things.
Bad things. So, but if you go all the way back, Sumeria, which is the one of the known first civilizations,
right?
They talk about demons. Huh. So the very first written word in Sanskrit by the Sumerians talks about demons.
Oh, wow. The very first one.
Yeah, well, not the very first. I'm just saying they're the first ones to have written word.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
saying like the very first thing they said was like, "Oh fuck, demons."
No, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
So that's where where demons came
So
from.
where they originate from? Yes, technically from Samaria because they were the first ones to write it down.
Our next one question was, are demons real?
Are demons real? My belief is no,
Mine also.
but in the same sentence, every civilization on Earth can't be wrong. If all of them have the same idea of what a demon is, obviously
Yeah.
it can't be wrong.
But I don't think demons are an actual being or a thing. I think demons are just civilization's ways of excusing shitty behavior, basically. Like, oh, I did this because of demons. You know, I'm slothful because of demons. I murdered this dude because of a demon. You know, I don't think that they're actual beings, if that makes sense. Just what's the word for it I'm looking for? When you basically somebody takes the fall for something, or you make scapegoat. Yeah. I feel like they're scapegoats for our sins.
Okay. And the last question, if they're real, what can we do about them?
Well,
how do you defend yourself against an inhuman entity that will do anything to you, make you think anything, and possibly live within you,
yeah,
and take your life? So how do you defend yourself against something you cannot see?
Well, by doing the opposite of the things that demons are associated with, honestly. So you live a good life. You don't do those things that demons are associated with. Would be the best defense against if they were real.
Yeah.
Or if you believe in Christianity, or not Christianity, Catholicism, exorcisms.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, they aren't the only
there
ones.
There are
that
other
have
cultures that do it too.
Islamic.
I believe that there are several Latin American cultures that.
Well, they're heavily Catholic.
That's true too.
Yeah, but because of the Spanish.
Well, I was thinking about the have the incenses and the sages.
Yeah,
that they.
That's Wiccan and occult and stuff. Voodoo has exorcisms. Islamic faiths have it, and Judaism. So exorcisms and everything are a big thing when it comes to
getting
demons.
rid of demons. The way to fight the demons. Yeah.
And if you guys have
that's just specifically possession, though.
Yeah, if you guys have not listened to Possessions and Exorcisms in our first season, go listen to that. We talk about
awesome.
Yeah, we go deep dive into many possessions and exorcisms. So what can you do about them? I mean, if you believe in them, just there's really nothing you can do about them, because if they're real, then they're going to get you, or they're going to affect your life, whether you want them to or not.
Yeah.
Many haunted places boast that they have demons. The Sallie House is one of the biggest.
Yep.
They often come to us as children because of the innocence factor.
Mm-hmm.
You're more likely to trust a child than you are an adult.
Yeah. Real or not real, I feel like it's just it's fun to be scared. And even if you don't believe in demons, I still think it would be cool to go to a place that supposedly has been haunted by a demon. Just to have that kind of, and even if you don't believe it, it's weird. Isn't that weird? Even if you don't believe in something, you can still get scared.
Yeah. It's because what if it's real?
Exactly.
It's always
there's
that thought.
still that
What if it's real?
small doubt that says, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this stuff is real.
All right.
And that is the cool thing about Halloween and spooky month, the fact that, what if?
Yeah, what if? And spooky month is upon us, and we have exclusive merch from Ashton Green.
Indeed. We got a new...
And speaking of demons, the merch is called Summoning the Dartarian Show,
Ooh,
to where it has a witch's circle summoning
a pumpkin.
Pumpkin Man, to be exact. So if you guys
check
follow
that
that link below, go to the store. It will be available probably till the end of November, just to give you guys some time if y'all want it.
Yeah.
And everything. And leave a comment below if you think demons are real.
If you have any comments about the episode,
Yeah, I want to know. Do you guys think demons are real? Do you think that they have the ability to possess us, or do you think it's just a way to describe mental illness?
yeah, we love hearing any and every side of everything. So
Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
never anything that we don't like to know.
Yeah. So this episode kicked off our spooky month. We got 4 more, hopefully for your guys' enjoyment. I hope you enjoyed this episode. We will see you next week, and thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you, guys.